Did Hillary Clinton claim Russians are grooming Representative Tulsi Gabbard as a third-party presidential candidate in 2020? No, that's not true. Clinton suggested in a podcast that the Trump campaign, not Russians, was grooming a woman who was competing for the Democratic nomination to run an independent presidential campaign in 2020, but she did not name who the woman. While observers might guess the 2016 Democratic nominee was referring to Gabbard, Clinton never said her name. Clinton did the potential third-party candidate being pushed by the Trump campaign as the favorite of the Russians. The story originated from an article published by the National Review on October 18, 2019 under the title, Hillary Clinton Claims Russians Grooming Tulsi Gabbard as Third-Party Candidate. It opened, quote, "Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton asserted that the Russians are attempting to undermine the 2020 election by backing Representative Tulsi Gabbard, D. Hawaii, as a third-party candidate, stating, she's the favorite of the Russians." Appearing on Obama campaign manager David Plouffe's podcast, Clinton made a number of claims regarding Russian meddling in U.S. elections, including that Gabbard's substantial social media support relies on Russian bots. Gabbard was the most searched candidate after the first and second Democratic debates. "I think they've got their eye on someone who's currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be the third-party candidate," Clinton said on the podcast. "She's the favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far." End quote. This is what social media users saw. The National Review makes a mistake in conflated the Kremlin with the Trump campaign. Clinton was clearly speaking about the Trump campaign when she said it had a strategy of promoting an independent run by a candidate who could draw votes from the Democratic nominee in key states. She then suggested that the female candidate the Trump campaign was grooming is a favorite of the Russians, not that the Russians were doing the grooming. The National Review accurately reported what Clinton said about her suspicions that 2016 Green Party nominee Jill Stein was a Russian asset. Quote, Clinton also labeled Green Party candidate Jill Stein a Russian asset and suggested on the podcast that Gabbard is playing a similar role in this election. "They know they can't win without a third-party candidate. I will guarantee you they will have a vigorous third-party challenge in the key states that they most needed," Clinton declared. In the aftermath of Donald Trump's election, the Clinton campaign followed Jill Stein's demands for a recount in Wisconsin, which ultimately gave Trump 131 more votes. End quote. You can hear it for yourself, starting at about 35 minutes into the podcast Campaign HQ with David Plouffe. NewsGuard, a company that uses trained journalists to rank the reliability of websites, describes nationalreview.com as, quote, "The website for the National Review, a magazine founded in 1955 by intellectual William F. Buckley, Jr. that produces serious, provocative reporting and commentary with an unabashed, consistently conservative point of view." End quote. According to NewsGuard, the site can generally be trusted to maintain journalistic standards. Read their full assessment here. We wrote about nationalreview.com before, here are our most recent articles that mention the site. Oxford study does not prove right-wingers share and believe more fake news. Is lawyer-author David French the #NeverTrump movement's secret candidate?